Hello and welcome back to Fallen London. Where last we left off, we had just completed our first area dive, which of course is the act of burglarizing a, burglary. And we got our prize, which was a box of porn. So we completed our objective, and now we have a confrontation in a reeking alley. A broken-toothed cracksman lurches from a doorway. I had my eye on that place. All ready to go I was, and then you happened. He has gin on his breath, a face like boiled mutton, and a well-oiled knife. Our options are: make a vivid example of him. A dash of violence now could save a gallon of it later. Befriend him. Are you not comrades in iniquity? Treat him to wine and honey. Offer him recompense. Generosity will serve better than the knife. As a kindness, tell him of another townhouse you've had your eye on. Offer him recompense, and then betray him. Inform him of an even richer target, but warn the constables of his intentions. Well, we're not doing that. So, I say let's go ahead and befriend this guy. We can maybe, do a collab one of these times. Fast friends. An hour later, you are in the Medusa's head. His arm is around your shoulder, his unctuous compliments hang in your ear. He toasts your courage, your character, your nose. You, in turn, commend his vivid profanity, his striking and often struck countenance, his aberrance. A bush-browed nobbler, moved by your filial bond, brushes a tear from his eye. Excellent. We lost some heartless, gained some hedonist, and gained a whole bunch of shadowy. And our name whispered in darkness quality is now 3. Our next objective is to earn an invitation from a seasoned housebreaker. We're not going to do that, though. So we have a bit of housekeeping to do. First, we're going to go ahead and clear out our opportunity deck. A stray consignment of souls. You've heard that a spirifer, a smuggler of souls, will be down on the river tonight, selling his wares to the men with the horns. You might be able to snaffle a box or two. Our options are to listen to their conversation, secrets are almost as good as souls, or sneak in and make away with something while they haggle. A dark trade, but a profitable one. Let's go for that. Carefully now. You slip into the water as quietly as you can and float towards the stern of the spirifer's boat, barely moving. As you drift past, you snag a box of souls with a length of cable and a hook. Back on shore, you heave at the cable until the box falls into the water. The devil and the spirifer hear the splash and turn to stare into the darkness. But even devil's eyes can't pierce the darkness of the river. You haul in your spoils and steal away. Excellent. I like the icon for the souls in the bottle. You can see the face there. Okay, retrieve a courier's correspondence. We've done this before. That one is the gift of 10 actions. We can't use that until we at least have room for that. The mob. Let's see. We'll go ahead and... We've done this one before, so same thing. An unusual wager. Yep, done this one before. The simple joys of villainy. That warehouse near the river doesn't seem to be well watched at night. A gentle person of fortune might help himself to whatever is inside. Options are soft souls and a mask. On inspection, the place seems worth turning over. You're not sure what's in the crates, but you are sure you can sell it. Or hire some help and strip the place bare. You know a few likely fellows who would assist with such a venture. This could be your entry to the bigger jobs. Let's take a shot. A valuable lesson. That was a lesson in picking one's underworld minions carefully. Your rogues were more concerned with loot than their reputations, and have robbed you every inch as much as the warehouse. Can nobody be trusted? What are they going to do with that beeswax? What a depressing business. Ah, oh well, next time. Fate of urchins. You happen across an alley where street children have been rounded up and are being attacked by a gang of hired thugs. Our options are to leap in. You've done some unsavory things, but this is too much. The thugs are distracted, so an ambush is in order. Or, none of my concern. This is the work of honest criminals. On the other hand, there might be some hush money in it. No, I'm not okay with beating up on children. We're leaping in. The fury of the streets. The moans of the street children cover the sounds of your approach. You pull a scarf over your face and leap down off a rooftop onto the villains. Your ambush catches them off guard, and soon they are fleeing and cursing you. A few of the urchins are in a condition to speak. They explain that they're a small gang, but they refuse to spy for one of the dockside crime syndicates. Attacking children? This is too much. You vow to end this particular brand of villainy and exact revenge upon those scoundrels. We gained favor from the urchins, and we are progressing in an investigation of who would send a group of thugs to beat up a gang of children. It's the Bohemian card. We've seen it before. Struggling artist's broken heart. Seen it before. A particular thirst. The offerings at the Singing Mandrake are beginning to bore you. After everything that's happened recently, you need something special. Inquire at the Singing Mandrake. The patrons take drinking seriously. Listen in on their discussion. What drink must you have before you die? One suggestion is interesting. An apricot brandy smuggled down to the Neath from Mandalay. Even the Duchess holds it in high regard. A bleary-eyed Bohemian interrupts, "It's not from Mandalay, it's from the Elder Continent, and it's the widow's business." The topic changes quickly. Intriguing. You take some bottles of the usual home to help you think. Ah, Moral Ways, that's much nicer than Greyfields. A professional reward, seen it. And let's go ahead and pick up the time. Okay, there's new things to do in Spite, but I like to move on once we finish a step. So I'm going to quickly swing by home. I think something might have showed up there. Nope, not yet. Okay. We are going to head on to Watchmaker's Hill. Neighborhood Watch. A spate of area diving plagues the residents of Moloch Street. Opportunistic burglars slip into homes through the entrances used by the kitchen staff. The residents have pooled their resources to hire a watchman. Okay. And yes, organize an inside job. If you can win the residents' trust, you'll be in the perfect place to pull a heist. I think we've done this before. Yes, we have. Okay, sorry, moving on. Okay, so anything new here at Watchmaker's Hill? Let's look at business on Watchmaker's Hill. Okay, the hill stands on the edge of Bugsby's marshes. You couldn't call the air here fresh, but at least it hosts a novel family of odors. Climb high, fill your lungs. Actually, perhaps it's best to wait until you're further from that clump of purple fungus. We're going to leave the make your name until we've checked all the normal cards here. Encounter, a sleep-deprived astronomer. His blind eyes stare past you. It's those damn marsh wolves and their damn howling. You have to silence them. We can pay. Drive off a troublesome pack of marsh wolves. Wolves or dogs gone bad, it's not clear, but they gather beneath the observatory walls each night and howl, and it's driving the astronomers out of their minds. Lure them away. Borrow? Well, they won't want it back afterwards. You borrow a sizable joint of meat from the observatory kitchens and drag it over the tussocky ground, leaving appetizing gobbets as you go. The marsh wolves pick up the scent and follow. You are forced to retire to a tree for a difficult quarter hour while they yap and snarl below, but they've been distracted from the observatory tonight. The astronomers are very happy with the night's silence and pay you a little extra. Excellent. Oh, there's some randomization here. Another encounter. A loutish band. The stink of gin rolls off them like spores from a stinkhorn. One of them falls in a ditch while the others roar with laughter. Hilarious! Look more closely. A resurrected tradition. That gang of drunkards isn't so very drunk. The British Empire last used press gangs in the dark days when Napoleon prowled the continent. Then they abolished them. Mr. Fires rather likes the idea, though. Our options are cosh a few and be on your way. This gang of faux drunkards is snaring dazed sailors to serve in the filthy and perilous confines of Mr. Fire's dirigibles. Liberty must be defended. Defend it now with a smack on the back of a head. Or offer your services to the press gang. What matter the work if there's money to be made? Not a fan of press gangs. Let's take a few out. Local justice. You club a couple of the gang into insensibility before they even know you're there. Suddenly they're all business, and blades glint in the gaslight. A cry goes up, and suddenly the locals are with you. Press gangs aren't popular on the hill. A mob boils out of the shacks, and thrashes the press gang out of the neighborhood. You collect a little glim from the casualties. Encounter. A lady needs a bodyguard for the night. When you inquire about her business on the hill, she smirks and adjusts her scarlet stockings. Some of my gentlemen prefer to disport al fresco, she tells you. How frank of her. Offer your services. She's no lady, and if her charms are a little faded, her eyes still sparkle. The scarlet stockings mark her as one of Mr. Wine's employees. Escort for an evening. Few would molest a wearer of the scarlet stockings, but Watchmaker's Hill is a rough place, and the occasional drunk needs to be dissuaded. Pleasant enough. The uncouth taverns and shabby street corners of Watchmaker's Hill give you few problems. A harsh glance here, and a swift grab and hurl there, and the evening passes smoothly. Your charge seems a decent sort, and even buys you a beer when you have to wait. A fair handful of jade for a not unpleasant evening. Okay, that's enough of that for now. What else have we got going on here? Guard duty at the observatory. I believe we've done that before. Yeah. Let's look at Knife and Candle at the gamekeeper's cottage. Rumor runs abroad in Watchmaker's Hill like a waistcoated tout. Is it true the game of Knife and Candle has begun again? In secret, unsanctioned by Mr. Iron? Does the committee meet at the gamekeeper's cottage? The cottage is abandoned, the door is locked, the windows are dark. The current season of Knife and Candle has ended. Okay, so right now it's not active. I don't think I've ever seen it be active, but if it changes while we're doing this, that would be neat to see. Before we head to making our name there on the business card, I wanted to check out the Department of Menace Eradication and the Medusa's Head as well for any new regular cards. Yeah, nothing new there. Nothing new there. Yeah, pretty standard. Checking the department. Nope, nothing new there. Okay, perfect. make your name. Enjoy a picnic on the marsh's edge. You find a quiet spot on the far side of the hill, under the faint light of the false stars. The marsh has an air of sodden, silvery mystery. Wait a minute. What's that noise coming from your picnic basket? This will begin an epic tale of struggle and heroism. Open the basket. Rats in your lunch! You've brought a knapsack of bread and cheese with you to the hill today. When you open it, the cheese is gone, the bread has been largely consumed, and you appear to have won a bonus rat. Repel the rats from your home to unlock new stories. Our options are: vermin, kill it. How did it get in there? You had heard noises in your lodgings. Or, let it go. Let the filthy thing live. Sure. It scampers off down the street. With a sinking feeling, you realize that it's headed in the direction of your lodgings. You didn't know rats had a homing instinct. It looks like you may have a rat problem at home. Return to your lodgings to face the little villains. Okay, yeah, that's just telling us to go home. Here we are. A rat infestation? Mysterious scurryings in the walls at night. Rat holes gnawed in the walls. Food stores ravaged. Definitely a problem. Worrying signs. This rat hole looks sawed, not gnawed. You should investigate more closely. A serious problem. Definitely sawed, and here's a tiny pickaxe, the size of a human finger. Sometimes at night you hear distant booms as they extend their tunnels with dynamite. They're Rattus faber, the sapient species of fallen London. LBs to the less sophisticated. No use moving. The little fiends can read a change of address, but they do collect hordes of stolen valuables. There might be opportunity here. A bad case of a Rattus faber. You have rats, and some of the rat holes have been dynamited open and not gnawed. An infestation of LBs, aka Rattus faber. Viciously intelligent rats who set traps for humans. No landlord or constable will tangle with these. Reduce troubled by vermin to 0 to expel the rats. The options on the storylet may change as you play them. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. A lull in hostilities. Try to negotiate with the rats. Perhaps you can convince some of them to leave. Or, a lull in hostilities, redouble your efforts. They're taking the opportunity to switch tactics, posting watch rats and employing anti-trap squads. Well, you won't be outfoxed by a gang of larcenous vermin. Or a tactical opportunity, hire a specialist. Dottor Rappaccini is a virtuoso of venoms. I say let's try to talk before we start killing. Tea with rats. You call a halt to hostilities and engage in a surprisingly civil discussion with the rats. They regard your lodgings as their own and are intent on reclaiming it for rat kind. No solution is reached, although a few rats desert during the negotiations, and you do hear some interesting gossip. That said, it is distressing to realize how often rats are about. Listening. Gained some whisper hints, and made some slight progress on the rats. Okay. A tactical opportunity. Employ a rat catcher. Rat catchers prefer to avoid LBs altogether, but here's a surly villain who will take your money to deal with the creatures. Or, opening salvos. Launch an early offensive. Not all of them are LBs. The ordinary rats that attend to them will be easiest to shoot or poison. Or shore up your defenses. Bolster the skirting. Sandbag the doors. I say let's try shoring up our defenses. Reinforce. A sensible precaution. There, you plate your skirting boards with cast iron. Let's see the LBs get through that. Gained some rats on a string, and made some slight progress. Let's try launching an early offensive. Another battle won in the war. Fire, poison, traps, bullets. You wreak havoc among the ranks of the enemy. I'll say we're gonna go ahead and jump on trying to negotiate again while it's early, since that one's gonna get harder. Alright, same result. Okay, we have advanced from opening salvos to the Battle of the Pantry. The Battle of the Pantry, defend it against all comers. The rats are after your victuals. The pantry is a crucial battlefield. You will protect your last packet of Mr. Murgatroyd's fungal crackers with your life. Or, the battle for the pantry, starve them out. Keep no food in the lodgings. You can afford to eat out, but only once every 2 days. Who will crack first? Or a tactical opportunity, hire a specialist. Let's try hiring Dr. Rappaccini. Dr. Rappaccini's venoms will certainly cause misery to the rats, but what will they do to you? Our options are: unleash the smokes of unmercy. The Doctor will run copper pipes into the deep crevices of your lodgings. He will then use a patented bellows to pump the fumes of nameless and terrible herbs deep into the rat's tunnels. You are to stand well back. Or don't pay the piper. Let the man run his pipes where he may. Once the rats are dead, why pay him? No, we can afford the Rostigold. A nose-curdling stench. You wait a good day before you return to your lodgings. Rat corpses lie everywhere. When you lift one with a gloved hand, it dissolves into slime. You spend the rest of the afternoon cleaning up. Even the traces of the fumes are enough to make you horribly nauseous. Okay, cost us some Rostigold, took us some wounds because of the toxins, but made massive progress on the war. Battling the foot soldiers, concentrate on the collared rats. You notice some of the ordinary rats are collared with Rostigold. They seem sleeker than the others, but no faster or stronger. In some cases, their fur has been combed and plaited. What devilish debaucheries are here? Or, battling the foot soldiers, bait a trap with Rostigold. They like Rostigold, eh? Perhaps that can be used against them. Let's try concentrating on the collared rats. That sounds like officers or a leader to me. Hard-won trophies. You cut the collars free of the rat corpses. Some have been rat-forged. You can see the marks of tiny hammers, but some look to be stolen bracelets. Purloined from lady's dresser, or gnawed from lifeless arms. Alright. The Battle of the Pantry. Starve them out. Let's give it a shot. A hollow victory. You're hungry. God, but you're hungry. The rats, however, are starving. You see a few set upon each other in their famishment, and you finish them off. The casualties mount in their ranks. This seems to be working, if you can stick at it. Defend it against all comers. A furry carpet in the pantry. It's hard to get a good swing in a small pantry, so you settle for jumping up and down on the horde of rats that come for your comestibles. Oh god, that's disgusting. Your milk jug is smashed in the fracas, but you have shown them. They shall not have your dinner. Okay, let's try a tactical opportunity. Employ a rat catcher. So this looks like we're hiring someone, but it only has a 70% chance to work. We were fortunate. Effective up to a point. The rat catcher's manner is offensively familiar, and his odor is somewhere between rat and tramp. Nevertheless, he is an effective scourge of rat kind, and the rat corpses mount up handily. One night, however, you find him guzzling your brandy stores. His language, when you require him to stop, is inexcusable. You are forced to dismiss the wretch from your service. Alright, that did a lot, but not as much as the doctor. Or the doctor. Okay, duel the ringleaders. Attempt to survive unscathed. Impressed by your tenacity, the ratty ringleaders challenge you to duel them. Of course, a rat duel is a series of savage ambushes. Their inventiveness is equaled only by their savagery. Be wary. Or, duel the ringleaders, take on a gang of them at once. Risky, but you do have something of a weight advantage. And it helps that rats die forever in Fallen London, while humans generally do not. Let's give it a shot. Success! Crunch! Who was that white-streaked rat with the grapple and the tiny needle-like pythons? He made it as high as your knee before you managed to crush him against the dresser. Ow! With his death, his comrades' morale breaks. They flee back to their holes to scheme new strategies. Oh, that gained us a baptized Ratus Faber corpse. The bounty on these things is substantial. Don't be deceived by its serene repose. Look at that glazed, sinister, ratty eye. Look at the wicked edge on that tiny knife. These are much rare. It's a particularly rare item, so that's nice. Okay, a lull in hostilities. At this point, not going to take the chance to try to talk. So we're going to go for redouble your efforts. They're taking the opportunity to switch tactics. We won't be outfoxed. Progress. The rats are more cautious, but you're more accurate. No bullet goes astray. Which is good, because that last rat was standing in front of a rather handsome terracotta vase in the Egyptian style. Not an original, certainly, but let's not sacrifice art willy-nilly to the needs of the moment. Anyway, rat expunged, vase narrowly escaped. Okay, duel the ringleaders. Let's attempt to survive unscathed. I at least want to see what it says. A midnight ambush. A squad of rat murderers swing down from the ceiling on a tiny rope as you sleep, to stab you in the eye with poison needles. But you are alert to their wickedness. You seize them and wring the life from them. Okay, here we are at the final battle. Face the Ratus Faber Chief. The chief of the rats has decided to deal with you personally. He stalks from the rubble of your cloakroom, loading his blunderbuss. A showdown with the Ratus Faber Chief. Man versus rat. Defeat this one and the others will leave. Fail and their morale will be renewed. Go for the kill. These are more than vermin, they're a menace. Or try to take him alive. These vermin have been worthy adversaries, and you may be able to wring a ransom out of them if you offer to spare him. But taking him alive will be much harder. Let's take a shot at it. Peace with honor. The rat chief struggles in your grasp. You ask a ransom of his followers. They refuse, the cheap brutes, but they're cowed into leaving. In obvious indignation, the rat chief vows to repay the favor by saving your life. You find it very hard to take this seriously, and you resolve to watch him carefully at night. But he could be useful. While sweeping away the remnants of the rat's fortifications, you come across a fold of blood-spattered paper. A map? Or a piece of one? Alright, we now have one disgraced Ratus Faber bandit chief. He still limps from his last fierce duel. Best not to remind him. And we gained a partial map. Excellent. Ratus Faber, Threat or Menace. The respected journalist Mr. Huffam is writing an article on London's rats. They have become a matter of public concern, he says, licking his pencil. What is your expert opinion? The rat is a noble creature. Intrepid, ingenious, industrious. It won't be a popular opinion, but you have come to admire them. Or, the only good rat is a dead rat, a simple solution to an intolerable problem. Or, rats are people too, some good, some bad. We should afford them the opportunity to prove themselves one or the other. Or, Unveil the ratty conspiracy! The truth is worse than anyone suspects, and this is your chance to tell it. No, rats are people too. Just they're sapient life that lives in the city, and we've got to coexist one way or another. Even-handed. Of course, some rats are opportunistic, or filthy, or savage, but has he met any journalists lately? Huffam laughs nervously. Are you an advocate of rat suffrage, then? He asks. You phrase your answer carefully. It is a cause currently espoused only by crackpots, but you don't rule it out. No, I'm definitely here for ratty suffrage. Okay, that has cleared out our house from the rats. Shroom hopping, a quaint sport of the lower classes. Watchmaker's Hill is a rough place and has rough entertainment. Leaping from huge mushroom to huge mushroom in a flooded field is considered amusing in these parts. Go all out. You are going to finish first, or fall in the slimy water, or get pushed into a toxic spore patch, or some such thing. Let's go for that. First to the post, a series of mighty leaps, a sharp turn on a slippery toadstool, a swerve around a viciously swung elbow. It's nothing you can't manage. You romp home with a narrow lead over the favorite as you hear the sounds of a brawl behind you from the main pack of hoppers. You claim your case of wine and receive a cheer from the spectators. Done this one before. Alright, so that has advanced our reputation there in Watchmaker's Hill. So let's go visit Vale Garden. Our next Making Your Name objective is to write a short story, but we've got other things to do here. We're going to have some new items on the various cards, and we need to meet up with a blind pianist. Very likely that exploration is going to finish out this episode, and we'll start the short story next time. Let's go ahead and start with working with the blind pianist. Our options here are help the blind pianist smuggle her spy out of hell. Does the brass embassy know about this? Will anyone else try to stop you? Or go to the spirit fur instead. This has gone far enough. I want to go ahead and help her. Back to waiting. You stand in the smoke and steam of Moloch Street Station. Are you being watched? It's impossible to tell. There must be 1,000 people here, picking over the stalls, and 100 devils. A gleaming brass locomotive hisses in, pulling 6 carriages. There's only one passenger, a devil, dressed in the wig and pantaloons of a century ago. Where's your spy? As the devil passes you, he drops an envelope. The note inside reads, "Delayed, have information, magic, dynamite, change everything, we'll be in touch." The blind pianist scratches deep gouges in the bar when you tell her. She drinks another whiskey, and another. "I'll be in touch too," she says, "and thank you. You know how big this is now. We can't fail." Okay. Anything new in the honey dens? Let's deepen your acquaintance with Prisoner's Honey. A solemn procession. You stand on a glass crag, waiting for the sunrise. A crowd surrounds you. They would be considered ugly in the waking world with their many jointed limbs, their lipless mouths, their avid faces. Here they are lined with golden light and crowned with leaves. You wait together as a greater light glows in the east, a light like lions in amber. All at once you raise your arms and shout, and the shout goes up like day. That was wild. Let's do it again. Hell is empty. The rain comes down like God's rods. The clouds above boil with light. Figures dance, giggling in the rain. Figures with hot, orange eyes. Devils? But they don't look quite like devils. Their limbs are jointed oddly. Their faces are guileless. Lightning strikes. You stagger back, dazzled into blindness. It struck at the figure on your left, and as you watch, it dissolves into a cloud of winged things, dissipating into the storm in an ecstasy of flight. The others laugh and cheer. Another lightning strike. You're engulfed in glorious brilliance, and everything goes white. You wake, still soaking wet, skin tingling, face stiff with a delighted grin. Peculiar yells echo in your ears. Okay, that's enough tripping for today. That lightning strike one was fascinating. Okay, dabble in the great game. Spies dart like minnows among Vale Garden's bonnets and tailcoats. Some serve the surface powers, frantic to find out what's going on down here. But more relevant, and more dangerous, are the agents of the Neath's own empires scattered across the Sunless Sea. The New Khanate, the Iron Republic, the Presbyterate, the Tomb Colonies. Begin a venture, uncover hidden tattoos. Down here, spies and their go-betweens wear secrets on their skin. This will begin a unique story which will significantly advance your persuasive when completed. Sure, that sounds nice. You've heard that a tattooed courier is carrying secrets of a special value. Is it the same tattooed courier, do you suppose? From the story over in Ladybones Road? If you can only arrange to see those coded tattoos, you'll need to build up a mixture of moon pearls, playing the game, and fascinating to complete this. Success will significantly increase your persuasive score. This will require creative thinking. She is famously faithful to her paramour. Seduction is probably out of the question, but there may be another way. You've set up your lodgings as a studio. The tattooed courier is known for three things: her savage intelligence, her beauty, and her exceptional vanity. If you can persuade her to model for you... Fascinate. Idle chats with the courier and the singing mandrake. Surely your charm will win out in the end. Cut short. Halfway through your pleasant lunch, she excuses herself, citing a prior appointment. Her regret seems genuine. A bespectacled visitor waits for her at the door in a long silk jacket. His hair is oiled. His mustache is thickly waxed. One of her employers, perhaps? Fascinate. Attend drawing lessons to impress the courier. Perhaps an artist of your acquaintance can help, though his time isn't cheap. Practice makes perfect. Your recent life drawing lessons in the upstairs room of the Singing Mandrake will help. And they should. Scandalous price. We spent 50 moon pearls on that. Fascinate. Idle chats with the courier and the Singing Mandrake. We've done this one already. Oh, maybe we didn't. You've won a smile. You force a polite smile as she tells you at length about her paramour. She sees less of him now he frequents Wilmount's End. And things will get worse when he dons the Irigo. At least you think that's what she said. You weren't entirely paying attention. Trade on your connections. Report comings and goings at the docks. The bespectacled visitor pays well, in silks from across the Untersee. if you can keep his attention. So we needed the playing the game stat as well as the fascinate, and I've seen fewer options, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that while it's here. Top billing. You find the bespectacled visitor at Mahogany Hall, observing a conjurer's show. He spares a glance at the manifest you obtained, tweaks his waxed mustache, and passes you a slip of paper bearing the address of a spite tailor and an ideogram. You'll go there for payment later. You're almost certain he comes from the new Khanate, though whether he serves Khan's heart or its rebellious armada city, the Khan's shadow, you couldn't say. Alright, that gained us a nice chunk of playing the game. What do we actually need? Complete your venture, uncover hidden tattoos. You make the case for adventure in the name of art. Her beauty cannot be permitted to perish with the passage of time. Your work will serve as an eternal record. Tasteful, decorous nudity is quite the rage, and so forth. Okay. Once you've sketched her tattoos, what will you do with them? You can think of several interested parties. So we are going to need more fascinating. I'll need to get that up to at least 6, although if I get it up to 8, there are other options. The option to return her secrets to her instead of selling them. And I will need... Oh, I have plenty of playing the game. That one card did it. So all I need is I'm going to try to get the fascination up to 8. Oh, we lost it. Dabble in the great game. There it is. Okay, here's a new one. Fascinate. Trade tales of the great game with the courier. She's more than a piece in the game. She's a devotee. Friends in high places. She rolls her eyes as you recount the latest Belgian fiasco. In return, she shares tantalizing details regarding an esoteric but implacable departmental struggle in the Foreign Office. She seems uncommonly well informed about that most circumspect branch of the civil service. Okay. We need a bit more of that playing the game resource since we spent some on that Fascinate, so we're going to trade on your connections, sell society secrets. Someone is always willing to pay to learn what Lord S and Lady D get up to after 10. In this case, the someone is a barely disguised diplomat from the Elder Continent. Deep breath. The barely disguised diplomat meets you in the leafless copse and Tyrant's Gardens, his smile brilliant from the shadows. He chuckles as he reads your report. Very good. Very good, he says, and hands you a stoppered stone jar. He takes his leave, still chuckling. You follow him once. He went into a drain by the river, and then down under the sewers to the Presbyterian embassy. Why would such a proud and ancient kingdom maintain so malodorous an address? They do not say. Okay, gained us a nice chunk of primordial shriek, and some playing the game, lost us one society favor. Fascinate idle chats. Sketch the courier. And that is that. I will finish building up the resources I need to complete this, and we will see the ending of it in the next episode. Before we close out for the day, I'm going to go ahead and read a couple of lore scraps. Who are the Knots and the Crosses? These two gangs of futureless urchins have been waging their ritual war over the territory between the corners of Wick Street and Hob Lane, and Alley Alley and Blue Ghost Street, almost since the fall. The savagery demonstrated in the conflict is the stuff of penny dreadfuls. What do they sell in Hell? The bazaar's conveniently located for Hell, and Hell's envoys keep stalls and warehouses here, which is great if you want to buy brass, obsidian, sulfur, hydrogen, devil bone, or any of Hell's other well-known exports. Or if you want to sell souls. But you shouldn't do that. The greatest game. The game is played everywhere, France, Vienna, Russia, the Khanate, but especially in London. Anyone might be a player. A grocer, a tattooist, visiting nobility. Be wary. Alright, well that's it for the night. We will finish our relationship with this tattooed courier next time. Once again, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.